All right, good morning to calculus people. So we had a little bit of a question talking about a limit here. Let's see if I can pull this up. Here we go. So we have, this was 25 minus x divided by 5 minus the square root of x. I'm going to go ahead and write this down for us so we can start working on it. So we got a little notepad type of a thing I can have here. So what we're looking for is limit. Here we go. Limit as x approaches 5 for 25 minus x divided by 5 minus the square root of x. So the first thing you always want to do with a limit is you just want to, let me just plug it in and see what actually happens. Okay. Oh, sorry, x goes to 25. There we go. That looks a little better. So we're just going to plug it in and see what happens with direct substitutions. 25 minus 25 divided by 5 minus the square root of 25. Let me turn this back on. Uh, there, there we go. Now you can see me a little bit. And we end up with 0 divided by 0. This is always an unhappy situation. Okay, I mean it's not really unhappy, like we can't do anything with it, but this is always a hint. Like we need to do more. Okay, later on in the class, you're going to recognize this as something called an indeterminate form. Right now, it's like you can't have a 0 over 0 to get a limit. I mean, you can sometimes, but in this case, this is not going to be the thing. So we have to try other techniques to see what we can do about this. I know some folks were going to want to use something called L'Hopital's. You wouldn't get a problem like this for L'Hopital's problem because this is too easy for L'Hopital's. L'Hopital's is very, very powerful and makes short work of a lot of different limits, but you have to make sure that you're using it in the proper way. So we put that off the table for just a little bit for you folks. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. We'll get there. Okay. So what you're going to do in a situation like this, especially with fractions, is can we multiply by the conjugate? Can I take this 25 minus x divided by 5 minus the square root of x? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by 1, which is often the hint that I will give you folks when you like, hey, I don't know what to do. Like multiply by 1, which would admit, I know that that's not a very effective hint. Okay, but that is exactly what we want to do. We want to say 5 plus the square root of x divided by 5 plus the square root of x. And this is what I mean by multiplying by 1. This right here, this is 1. Okay. Now, you don't have to multiply out the top, and I would actually rather you don't multiply out the top. Just leave it as 25 minus x times 5 plus the square root of x. We're just going to hold off on that for just a moment. Now, at the bottom, because we have this a minus or x minus a, x plus b, or x plus a kind of a thing, go ahead and multiply this out. So we just FOIL this out, right? When in doubt, FOIL. So we're going to say 5 times 5 here is 25. Okay, and then we get a plus the outers, that's going to be 5 roots of x. And then the inners, we're going to have minus 5 roots of x. Okay, and I'm thinking you probably saw that before I wrote it down, but that's what we end up doing. And then we're going to go ahead and say, okay, we have square root of x times square root of x, so that's going to be minus square root of x times that. This is going to be x. Okay, now let's simplify a little bit. So leave the top alone again. So we have 25 minus x, parentheses. We have 5 plus the square root of x. Okay, and then divided by, now the bottom simplifies out to 25 minus x. Oh, what do you know? We can cancel those things. So we just have a 5 plus the square root of x. And now when I go ahead and plug in my direct substitution, we have 5 plus the square root of 25 with the limit x approaches 25. And we just get 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. And that's the kind of thing you want to do when you are confronted with these weird limits that have like a top and a bottom, multiplied by the conjugate. That's a very powerful technique to kind of be able to clear out radicals and things like that. Some of you, I gave the hint of like, do you remember doing square root of x plus h minus the square root of x all divided by h, and how you did this? We multiplied top and bottom by the conjugate of what the top was. So I think with that, you guys are okay for, how do I do this problem? How can we go from there? I'm going to let you go with that video and say good luck with doing the rest of the homework. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.